Hello, we recently completed our first ever proper hiking weekend with our puppy. A puppy who very recently turned 1. Yes, Sonny is a big boy now. Anyways, first ever hiking weekend. A 3-day adventure in Dalarna, Sweden, just the 3 of us, out in nature. So before planning any kind of longer hiking adventure with your puppy, there's a few things to keep in mind. First of all, don't start too early. It can be harmful for your dog if they overexert themselves through something strenuous, such as hiking while they are still growing. That is why we waited until Sonny was 1 year old, until we did this hike. The second thing out of the few things, start small and build it up. As for Sonny's case, we've begun increasing the length of our walks bit by bit when he reached about 7 months of age, and when he was 9 months old, he went with us on a Europe train travel adventure. During that adventure, he did walk quite a bit, but not overly long, but upwards to 6 kilometers some days. And that's about it for the pre-advice things. Yes, do not start too early, especially important for large dogs, and increase distance gradually. Now on to the hiking adventure. Seeing as this was Sonny's first time properly hiking, we decided to rent a cabin and go on day hikes, in contrast to doing a long hike with a tent, etc. Alright, well, I guess I'll just walk you through each day of our hike. Yes, so day 1, 8 kilometers we hiked in total. This day was spent in the national park of Fulefjellet. We began the day by hiking through the forest and along the main hiking path in the park. It was a cloudy day, but luckily it wasn't raining, although Sonny was prepared for rain, seeing as he was wearing his raincoat. Eventually we arrived at one of Sweden's tallest waterfalls. As you can see, Sonny was quite impressed by the very impressive waterfall. Now let's talk about food for a bit. Food is important. Just like humans, dogs have to eat, and when hiking we all have to eat more. So what did Sonny eat during his hiking adventure? Well, he ate dry food, or kibble as it is known in some countries, and different kinds of canned meats. Cause sometimes he can be quite picky, but while hiking it is important to eat enough, hence he got canned meats as well, which he very much enjoyed. Turkey seems to be his favorite. Back to hiking. After checking out the waterfall, we made our way up the mountain. Sonny ate some blueberries. He very much likes blueberries.
Is it good, Sonny?
He even eats them straight from the shrub himself. On the mountain, Sonny got a bit dirty and then a bit crazy. The weather also worsened, so we decided to call it a day. So we hiked back down from the mountain, and to the car we went, and to the cabin we drove. Did Sonny get tired from the 8-kilometer hike? Not too much, as the first thing he did after we came back was to ask me to throw the tennis ball for him to catch, which I of course did, until it was time for sauna. Like that. Good morning, it is day 2 of our autumn nature hiking adventure. This morning we began by driving up the mountains for about 20 minutes, and now we're at the Nipfjellet. And well, I think, I don't want to jinx it, I'll say it anyways. It seems to be quite amazing weather today. It's really beautiful. Alright, day 2 of our hiking weekend. This day offered very much better weather, yes, which was nice, seeing as the planned hiking distance was around 13 kilometers. It is preferable to walk such a distance in sun rather than rain. That's my opinion anyways. I do also think that Sonny agrees with that. This hike would take us across the open mountain plateau almost all alone, except for a herd of reindeers. Eventually we would also climb a mountain. It would be Sonny's first ever mountain ascent. Very much exciting. Before we reach the base of the mountain though, we have some hiking to do, which we did at a decent pace. We also just had to stop and take a few photos during this magnificent autumn day. Eventually we got closer to the mountain, and then eventually it became quite steep. Hannah and I, a bit tired, Sonny not very much. At the summit we all ate some food and then relaxed and enjoyed the amazing views. Although we hiked the same way back, it was still nice. The sun really made the red blueberry shrubs shine, and Sonny really did enjoy running around playing among those blueberry shrubs. Anyways, same as yesterday, we made our way back to the car, got in the car and drove back to the cabin. 13 kilometers, does this equal tired Sonny? Kind of? Time flies while having fun. Welcome to the last day of our hiking weekend. Today we'd hike about 10 kilometers all the way to the border between Sweden and Norway, but not across it. In order to cross the border, Sonny would need to be treated for the fox tapeworm. He would also need to have been treated for that in the last 24 to 120 hours. So no, we'll stay in Sweden. As you can see, Sonny was not the only dog out here today. Being a Saturday, it was quite busy. The hike of the day was also not very technical, as almost the entire hike followed this rather wide gravel path. Quite quickly we reached the border, but instead of crossing over, we turned right and headed for a nice viewpoint. But first we had a nice break among the blueberry shrubs, shrubs which Sonny very much likes to chew on, both the actual branches of the shrubs but also the actual blueberries among the shrubs. Anyways, we pushed on the last few hundred meters up to the rather windy viewpoint. Stayed there for only a few photos, it was quite windy, and then it was time to head back down. Same way out, we hiked along the gravel path. Short break for some lunch we also had, with a pretty decent view. The hike then continued a bit further across wooded pathways and across bridges. Down by the water we stopped for some fika. Nice place. They even had a dedicated jar full of free dog waffles. Sonny definitely approves of that one. Did Sonny get tired from today's hike? No, he did not. We played quite a bit back at the cabin. That is pretty much our hiking adventure, the first of many together with Sonny. Do you often hike with your dog? Let us know in the comments and I will show Sonny your comment, but he will probably need some help from me when it comes to creating a response in text form. We'll see you in a future video. Thanks for watching.